Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside Game Daily for Wednesday.
Hey, it's Wednesday. We got a happy hump because today we got a real spicy story for you. It seems like Stadia is more feasible.
Whoa, hold on, wait.
What?
Do you hear that?
I thought we were done.
Yeah, nope, it's another Anthem story.
Wait. It's different now. It's actually some good news.
Did the servers for Warframe and Destiny 2 explode, perhaps?
Also, the servers for Apex Legends and Fortnite and Devil May Cry 5 and every other game that isn't Anthem?
Maybe it's not that good of news for Anthem, but it is good news in an area that's really important, and that's sales.
Lawrence, tell them about it.
Yeah, here we go. NPD, they're back. They reports that Anthem was the best-selling game in February, and that it's only behind Kingdom Hearts 3 for the title of best-selling game of 2019 so far.
Wow.
Yay! It's
That's
pretty cool.
really great, yeah.
Listen, here's clear. Anthem needs more Keyblades, would have pumped up the sales, and a little duck pal with a tracheotomy telling them some around.
Granted, it's only March, so the best-selling chart of 2019 isn't fully stacked yet, but like we said, Anthem can take all the good news it can get right now.
Yeah, if Anthem sold decently, it means that there's still a base of users who will be there if the game rebounds, setting up a glorious resurrection story.
So you're saying that it could be the No Man's Sky of 2019, or more like 2021, but by then we'll all be living on Mars, wearing silver jumpsuits and fighting the subterranean species that's really sore about us moving in on their home planet.
Cool, that sounds awesome. 2 years?
It's exciting.
And we can also have sex with them before you ask.
Let's go back to the story in question here. So how many copies has Anthem sold? That's important if you remember, because EA told investors that it wants to sell 5 to 6 million copies by the end of March. That is less than 2 weeks away.
As usual, NPD didn't issue actual sales numbers, but they did leave a few clues as to how well it did. Oh, just like Sherlock. So kick back while we try and break this mystery wide open. Lawrence, do it.
Let's start it.
Hold on, putting on my hat.
Yeah.
I got my little
magnifying glass.
yeah, and I got my little butt boy. He's gonna help me with all the clues.
NPD's Matt Piscatella tweeted that Anthem, quote, represents the second highest launch month sales ever recorded for a Bioware developed game, trailing only the March 2012 release of Mass Effect 3.
That's great.
We got us a clue.
All right.
We got something to work with, so let's extrapolate. We went back to the 2012 archives, pulled that manila folder out of the thing, slammed it down on the table, brushed it off, went back when Bioware had actually released sales numbers. That used to happen. And we found that Mass Effect 3 shipped 3.5 million copies at launch. So we got a first number to work with. We know that Anthem sold less than 3.5 million, at least when it launched.
Right.
It's been about a month since then.
And that is not all. We also know that Resident Evil 2's remake, which also released this year, sold 3 million units in its first week.
So if Anthem is in the number 2 spot for sales only behind Kingdom Hearts 3, that means it outsold Resident Evil 2. Wow, that's pretty good. So it's safe to assume that Anthem has sold at least 3 million units, according to NPD. But there are some caveats there too, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, NPD numbers don't include people who are playing Anthem via EA Access Premier. They also just don't include PC data either. They do include physical and digital, but console only. So yeah, this is why it's a mystery. Any other games journalist would just give up right there. But no, we're heroes. We got even more fuzzy math for you to try to really get a solid number to work with.
Once again, journalism. Are you not entertained? He's hitting the thing. And this time we'll be using another big multi-platform game for comparison. This one's gonna be Monster Hunter World. Last year, Capcom said that it sold 8 million units on consoles, and by some Steam Spy estimates, it sold another 2.3 million on Steam.
So if we use that ratio, we can approximate that 20-ish% of a game's total sales are on PC, according to the Monster Hunter World ratio.
It's the Rosetta Stone of sales.
We know they're different games, but from different publishers released at the same time, different times. We said it was fuzzy math for a reason. We'll just say it's the Monster Hunter World ratio.
So if we apply that 20% PC sales to the 3 million console sales we assume for Anthem, we come out with 3.6 million units.
Total, right? So that's the
Yeah.
0.6 is the 20%, and then the 3 million units is the console.
3.6 minimum.
Minimum.
But still under 5. So somewhere in that window, 3.6 to 5.
Does that make sense though?
So yeah, that 3.6 actually makes sense. It lands in the right zone. Square Enix said that Kingdom Hearts 3 had already sold 5 million copies as of early February. So more than 3, below 5.
Yeah.
Just kind of in that window somewhere.
All right,
so
yeah.
it hasn't hit that 5 to 6 million goal that EA wanted. Maybe the next 2 weeks are going to be very kind. We'll see. Honestly, it probably won't by the end of the month, but it's not completely off base. So what does all this mean aside from us being heroes for doing some very loose math?
I mean, first of all, despite the bad review scores and word of mouth, enough people still gave Anthem a shot and are still giving it a shot.
Yeah, they're still buying it. There's no question though that Anthem had a lot of problems, from eternal loading screens to weird loot drop rates, stability issues, and just good old-fashioned bugs.
Yeah, even its critics mostly, sorry, like Donald my throat. Even its critics mostly agree that there's a good game in there, but the version that shipped just wasn't it.
Yeah, meanwhile, the head of Bioware admitted that Anthem had a rough launch, but he also said that they're committed to fixing it, which they have been doing for a very long time. They've been addressing all of the problems on social media and on their forums, which I actually really appreciate.
Yeah, there was a post about it, right?
Yeah, in a blog yesterday, Bioware General Manager Casey Hudson, old-timer Casey Hudson, we've known him for a long time, chalked up a lot of the issues to the fact that Anthem is an online game and that online games are notoriously buggy at launch. That's true, but also, Division 2's right there, running well, looking good, being fun. Hudson wrote that while players have told Bioware that Anthem is, quote, really fun at its core, Bioware also, quote, had a degree of issues that did not reveal themselves until we were operating at the scale of millions of players. But that was the game they were making, so yeah, sure, whatever. He also added that they were, quote, very disappointed about all this, which is genuine, I can get that.
Hudson added that, quote, it makes me sad to hear about any issues that would hold someone back from fully enjoying the game. I take that very personally, and it's been our top priority to get improvements out to you in the fastest, safest way.
Every day, 200 people leave Bioware all shuffling to their car. I feel so bad.
Can't get the key.
Battery in your fob's dead.
In addition to fixing Anthem's issues, Hudson also talked a lot about the game's future, which is good because people have already been complaining about a lack of content, just like I have.
Coming soon, he said there will be a series of events in the game that include new story content and features that are all building to something called the Cataclysm later this spring. Wasn't that the second expansion of World of Warcraft?
It was third.
The dragons. It's the red box.
Good job, guys.
It was the green place.
I think we got it. He also addressed the skeptics, saying, quote, we hear the criticisms and doubts, but we'll keep going anyway, working hard every day on Anthem.
I mean, you have no other choice.
That's true. That is their job.
That is your job. You need to make this thing work. And they do have their work cut out for them because there's the danger that a lot of players have tried Anthem, didn't like what they saw, and have moved on.
Yeah, there's that old adage, you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Unless you're No Man's Sky or another game that rebounded from a terrible launch, Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
But in both of those cases, it took years, not months, to turn things around.
Yeah, Lawrence, are they going to have that chance those years?
This might be a more patient EA we're dealing with. In the past, they have not taken failure kindly. But as for Bioware, Anthem is a really important game, obviously, after the disappointment that was Mass Effect Andromeda. Kotaku reported that the bulk of Bioware staff in Edmonton and Austin working on Anthem, and that employees felt like, quote, the company's future is inextricably tied to the game.
So it's safe to say that Bioware's got a lot riding on Anthem, and while these sales aren't hitting the numbers that EA wanted, they do give Anthem a foundation to build on.
Yeah, so you're saying that basing a news story strictly on UK sales data, like we did with Anthem in Division 2, might not be the best idea.
Not really, but hey, that clickbait is working real good, and it's putting my kids through college. I don't know their names, but they're going to USC.
Eventually.
I have to bribe some paddle coach or something, I don't know. Who cares?
You're on the
FBI
swim
calls,
team?
I just hang up. That's the
FBI
point.
here, f*** off.
In all seriousness, we call them like we see them. Sometimes early data is misleading, which is actually why we are doing a daily news show, because then we can fix the things that happened previously. We always follow it up with more data, just like we did today.
Accordingly, we expect to have a better picture of how the Division 2 is actually selling in a few weeks' time.
As for Anthem, let's say it's 1 million copies short sales-wise. That would probably still be a disappointment for EA. Battlefield 5 had the 7.3 million copies, and EA's like, "Bleh."
Yeah.
We wanted 1 million more.
Try harder, but they turn around and they cry and they go, I'm so proud.
It could be a case of close, but no cigar for it.
Right. For the time being, though, Bioware is sticking with Anthem. Whether or not their corporate overlords will do the same remains to be seen.
I kind of hope they do. I think Anthem has a really nice structure and a nice skeleton of a game. There are a lot of problems with it, but I think if they stick with it for a year, it'll be great.
Yeah. Wait, hold on, give me a call. Hello? No, yeah, I bribed him because that's what they told me to do.
Next over time,
Yeah.
No Man's Sky, Fallout 76, Sea of Thieves, Battlefront 2, all of those games honestly makes the community really angry for a long time.
Because you're asking $60
Yeah.
for something that is obviously not market ready. And it's totally a play against people's goodwill. Just like, let's just put it out there, get whatever money we can.
It is.
And then we'll just figure it out.